Mike Barnicle, again, you've known Joe Biden for so long. Can you talk about Joe and his family? Talk about Val, the people who are closest to him, the very tight group of family members, and the impact that they have on him. And also, you were telling me a story from just a few nights ago about just how damn normal he is, even in the most nerve-wracking of circumstances, that Joe Biden is used to this, and he's used to pressure, and he even when the presidency's hanging in the balance, he remains grounded, he remains himself.
Yeah, Joe, they had a sort of a surprise birthday party for his sister Val the other evening, I think Wednesday evening. In the middle of all this tension about waiting to see, which state is going to come in, where the vote is going. And I'm told that the then former vice president, now the president-elect, you could never tell that he was in the middle of this tension-ridden week, because that's how normal he is. And today, first of all, the Biden family is a tribe, all of them together. They are one unit, including the president-elect, one unit. And they fight for each other, they feel for each other, they cry together, they pray together as a family unit. And the president-elect knows a few things. He knows that the turbulence, the cultural turbulence in this country is going to continue. He knows that the divisions that exist now are not going to suddenly disappear. He knows that Donald Trump is not going away. But here's what else the country ought to know. That Joe Biden is a man convinced through experience that healing offers the promise of a better tomorrow. He, along with the help of his family, healed himself when he lost his son, when he lost his daughter and his wife at the age of 29. And the healing comes again when Bo dies. And it's a renewable thing. He's constantly healing the sorrows that he has lived with for nearly 50 years now. Those sorrows, they don't just simply disappear. They stay with you, they cling with you. You hear a song on the radio and it will remind you of something that happened when his children died when he was 29. You pass a Little League field and he will think about watching his boys, Hunter and Bo, playing baseball. They never go away. But he knows how to make them work through healing. And through healing comes his purpose. And his purpose is to try to heal those divisions that exist in the country, to lower the temperature of the country, to stop the tweeting, to stop the cultural wars by just a calm, effective, competent job as President of the United States.
I want to go to John Meacham in a second, but Mike, you referenced a moment from Vice President Biden with a young man with special needs who lost his father in the Parkland shooting. Let's take a look at that now.
Who are the parents?
Yeah.
I'm white. I'm Chris Simpson's wife. This is Chris's son.
Well, how are you? Thank you for hugging me. You okay? You okay? You'll be okay. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. I promise. Okay, I promise.
Mike, or let's go to Joe first. Joe, for all the moments of this campaign, if you go back through a year and a half worth of moments and debates and on the campaign trail and interviews and everything else, it seems to me a moment like that and another one where Vice President Biden went up to a young man who had a stutter and gave him a speech that, wherever you are on the political spectrum, brought tears to your eyes of encouragement. Those are the moments that break through. Those are the moments that remind you of fundamental goodness.
Well, and you're exactly right. One of the really moving moments there, but I must say, every time I see him speaking before Gold Star families and see clips of that, it is so moving to have a leader explaining to parents that it hurts like hell and it will always hurt. But there will become a time when the memory of your child will bring a smile to your face before it brings a tear to your eye. And Mika, those would just be hollow words if another politician spoke them. But it's something that Joe Biden feels because it's something that Joe Biden lives. And as you look at Jill Biden and some of these pictures that we're showing, it was Jill Biden who Joe credited with helping him dream again.
So, and we know Joe Biden. My family's known him for years. We've known him, Joe. And I had a friend who I lost to pancreatic cancer. And in the process of that loss, Joe Biden reached out and hugged Emily and William, her children, and talked them through the process and met them on the other side of it. He understands it. He knows how to communicate empathy. It is instinctive and it is immediate for him. I'll never forget. And he's a pro at it, and he is so grounded by his loss and has not let him be broken by it. And Jill's a part of that. I remember noting how devoted and real Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden is. And she's a community college professor. It's something that she did while Joe Biden served as vice president. A lot of people didn't know that as it was happening. Her students didn't even know that. She worked as a community college professor while her husband was serving as vice president. And I remember she told me about a moment that somebody noticed her in a picture next to Michelle Obama and asked her why she was there. She loves her job. She loves what she does. And I remember she told me that she'd even like to do her job if Joe did win the presidency. And that would be another first, to have a working First Lady of the United States, not just working as First Lady, but having her own career. So we are breaking the glass ceiling with the Vice President and potentially the First Lady here. But this moment in history absolutely is about what many believe is the empathy that this nation needs right now in the midst of a pandemic.
John Meacham, we want to give you a final word with a minute or so to wrap this up before we pass on coverage on this historic day when Joe Biden has been elected 46th president of the United States.
Empathy, decency, and democracy were on the ballot this season. America has decided by a larger margin than we sent Harry Truman and John Kennedy, and about the same margin that we sent Ronald Reagan to the pinnacle of power, that we want empathy, we want decency, and we want democracy. In January of 2015, Barack Obama asked Joe Biden, "Joe, what do you want to do with the rest of your life?" Now we know.
All right, thank you so much, John Meacham. Willie, thank you so much for being with us nonstop. We know that you hold down several jobs, just like Jill Biden. But it's been a fascinating week, hasn't it?
It most certainly has, and it's required a lot of patience from a lot of people who watch our show and a lot of people who support Joe Biden. But I think Joe Biden and all those people would tell you as they dance in the streets right now, it was worth the wait.
And Mika, when you took your mother, your 89-year-old mother, to vote,
Don't make me cry.
and when she was voting, she turned to you, and you all both knew she was voting not only for herself, but voting for your dad.
Yeah, I was really proud of her. She hobbled into the polling booth and got that vote in. It's been great to cover this with you guys. We've had a long week, had a long 4 years, some would say, following this presidency, and a new chapter begins now. That does it for our coverage, for Joe and for Willie and for me. Thank you so much for joining us. Lawrence O'Donnell picks up the coverage right now.